Bravo 6, going dark.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to some more Ready or Not. It is me, Zeus, bringing you guys the next S rank. I figured today I was going to kind of explain some stuff from Friday's video that I think I didn't explain very well. I've gotten a lot of comments, so it's shown me that I actually did a pretty poor job explaining what I was talking about. So I'm going to kind of clarify those, and yeah. If you guys want to skip to the part of the video where I'm not talking, I'll actually leave a timestamp right now. Just you can skip to that. I don't know why you would want to, because you're going to like miss out on a chunk of the level. But if you didn't want to hear me talk, if you did just want the gameplay, that's where it is. I hope you guys enjoy. To everybody else who wanted to stick around and kind of hear some explanations. So this is from Friday's video. I'll actually leave a link to that in the top right. But basically I talk about how to help Ready or Not. I don't know so much if fix was the right word to use, but at least help it. Also, this is the watch and the tattoo from the last level. Sorry. But anyway, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the skill system, because most people seem to have an issue with the skill system, and I totally get what you're saying, because I actually agree with you guys. I don't think think like Far Cry, like a skill tree would have a real place in the game. I feel like that would be very out of place and actually almost kind of trivialize it, turn it into Call of Duty. What I really wanted was like the facilities, kind of like I mentioned, like the gym, but instead of it being like this is where you train your strength and whatever, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a gym. So you can buy a treadmill and this will unlock the ability to sprint, right? And then you get a weight bench, which will reduce the amount of, or like the negative impact of armor. But let's actually, to even further on that, you could make this a tier system. So like a tier 1 treadmill means you can only move a little bit faster. Tier 2 treadmill means that you can actually sprint now, and then tier 3 is like you can sprint for longer or whatever, right? Just stuff like that. Like it's just smaller things like that. It's not just a dedicated, hey, this is how you get this or whatever, right? It's a you buy the thing and you get the upgrade, right? I feel like that would fit a little bit more like in place with the universe. It's more like, it's more training oriented instead of it just for some reason you can now do this, right? It all makes like logical in-universe sense. The tactical center or whatever for using C2 charges, maybe you have like wooden doors and that will teach you how to pick locks, but then you have a reinforced door, which is where you practice your using the C2 charges. So it actually makes sense that you would upgrade from there, right? Things like that. I don't know exactly what they could add, but that's just a couple of ideas. The next thing, the thing I think would be the most interactive would be the charisma system, but I feel like it's because then you should get a choice between budget and morality. So, for example, let's say a hostage is shot, you can completely mitigate the effect that would have on your budget, but it would cost you a whole lot of world reputation, where all of a sudden the world would be a lot more against the police department because now you guys have just gotten away with a murder. But if you take more accountability, it will cost you budget because you pay out to the family or whatever, right? So I feel like you should have an option to kind of think, well, do I want my world level to go down or do I want my budget to go down? But that's kind of how I would think that would go. I wouldn't want that to be such a, what is it, like a cut and dry, just like a % reduction, like I had mentioned. I feel like that would be the best way to do it, would just be allow the characters or the players some kind of choice over the world, but not force you to play less than lethal all the time, because that I feel like that's a pretty bad mechanic. But I'm not here to bash on the game, and that actually leads me to my next point, was things I didn't touch on, and that was the DLC slash poor optimization slash AI. Funnily enough, as soon as I released that video, like the very same day, Void put up a roadmap. Oh, excuse me, holy voice crack. A roadmap for their like next couple of expansions. And while that's great and all, I don't think that should be where Void's focus is. I think that they should be focused more on like the core gameplay, I guess. I don't really know how else to, or how better to word that. And I'm talking about how the AI is super crazy right now. There are mods that can fix that, but I feel like that should be Void's thing. They can kind of tweak those numbers a little bit better, maybe add some more systems in place. For example, like a pain system, like if you shoot somebody in the leg, they're more likely to surrender. Stuff like that. I don't know if that exists in the game right now, but as just an example, they can add more systems, they can take more away than really just what the modders can do, which is just tweaking values. The optimization, I know there's like some tricks that you can do to increase your game's performance, but I shouldn't have to go into config files and do all sorts of, you know, like normally you just launch a game and it runs pretty decently. I guess modern games, it's kind of like a staple of them is not running smoothly, but you understand what I'm saying. I should just be able to launch the game and not have to really dig into the files to make it run decently, right? A lot of people who are on medium to lower end rigs have mentioned it a bunch of times that like, hey, like you must have a really good PC to run the game like this. And it's like, I have a pretty good PC, but I mean, I even still have chugs and stuff like that here and there. So I can only imagine how it would be on a more lower end PC. That must suck. And I feel like that's where Void's focus should be. Make the game more accessible for people and kind of like tone down the AI. Maybe have like a harder mode for people who really want that like CBT experience. Or if people want to play solo, like I kind of hate the AI. I'm going to be honest, the SWAT AI. They're smarter, but I've just always been more of a solo player. And I get that that's not how everybody wants to play the game. So totally leave it in, but I should be able to just remove them myself. I shouldn't have to get a mod to do that. But while we're on the subject of mods, I feel like that's where the DLCs should be left for now. Maybe for like the first update, just fix the optimization, fix the AI, and just kind of let modders and people make modded maps and stuff like that, because that kind of carried the game from the Atom update to the 1.0 release. Like that, I swear if it was not for the modders, this game would have died like almost a year ago. Because I mean, I've been with this since the early access, like when the Winderly Hills Hotel had an intro, like it would tell you about the situation that was happening type of deal. Like I've been around this game for a long time, and I feel like that's where the game would have died if it was not for all the modded maps that were created. Just my opinion, but I strongly think that that would have been the end of the game. So just leave the mods or the modded maps to the people, let you know that gets sorted out, and you guys focus on the stuff that's really more in-depth, that requires more than just mods to tweak. At least for the first update, and then add your, you know what I mean, add your DLCs and stuff like that, because I get that they have to add expansions. They can't just totally outsource that to mod makers, because that's kind of scummy. I don't know if the mod makers get paid, but they definitely don't get paid by Void. So it's one of those things where it kind of needs to be their own thing, but for now, get it playable. I feel like I've spent too long on this subject, and I've said make it playable 6 times. So we're gonna move right along to my very last thing, and this was something that I wanted to mention, but I just didn't really feel like it had a place in the game or in the video. But I don't have all the answers. I'm just a dude who makes videos on a game that I like to play in my spare time. I don't have all the answers for this. Yeah, I mean, I may make some decisions that you guys may not agree with, and I'd love that you guys are telling me when you don't agree with me, or if you do. It's super awesome, but I don't think about these things in the grand scheme. I think about what would be best for, like, as shitty as this is going to sound, my own personal experience on the game. I put like 600 hours into the game, so I have a lot of time in it, and I would hate to see it die, so I'm pretty passionate about my ideas, but I feel like these are just some things that would be added for either quality of life or just general betterness. It's just stuff that I would want to see. I know that I'm not everybody. I don't speak for everybody. So if you guys agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments. What would you guys like to see added? Stuff like that. I had a conversation with a guy in the comments about the customization of weapons being kind of limited. Like, it's cool, like, but it's really limited. Me, I think that that's not a priority. I totally get why it's limited. I mean, we're supposed to be a police department, so I shouldn't have access to like half the weapons that we have access to anyway. But I know that it can't be as in-depth as like Tarkov or Ground Branch. Tarkov is really complicated, and it took me a long time to figure it out, and I still don't have it all the way figured out. But Ground Branch is really nice because I get to adjust like how far out my stock is and like where I can put my attachments on my weapon and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool, but I'd like to see some kind of a merger of the two. I just don't see how they could do that legally without it being called as like a they're just stealing somebody's ideas. I don't have an answer to that at all, but I would like to see some better customization somehow. I'm sure that there's some magical middle ground that I just can't think of. But yeah, that's going to do it for all the stuff I wanted to cover. I'm sorry for talking your guys' ear off. I just hope that I was able to clarify a couple of things, and that I don't know. I kind of clarified that stuff up. That's really actually all I wanted to get out. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
looking for it.
We have
Gone.
a suspect in our custody.
Talk to entry team. Copy, entry team.
Element to
Notifying
talk.
trailers.
Suspect is in our custody. Requesting transport.
Talk to element. Copy, entry team. Notifying trailers.
Getting down.
Stay quiet. Entry team to talk. Suspect standing by for transportation.
This is talk.
Nothing you can
Roger
do
that.
to
Lead the talk.
Trailers
Civilian
incoming.
standing by
Proceed
for
with
trailer.
caution. Talk to entry team. Roger that. Trailers en route.
They're here.
Get on the fucking ground! Do it now! Suspect restrained and under our control.
Talk reporting. Great work, entry team. Keep it up.
Down.
Get down on your knees! Get down on the floor! Please!
Down. Stop.
Stay down.
Fucking coward.
Element to talk. Suspect is secured.
Talk reporting.
Get on the
You ain't
ground
gonna hurt
now!
my sisters.
Trailers incoming.
Fucking hands up! Entry team to talk. Civilian is in custody. Requesting escort.
Talk to entry team. Roger, entry team. Great work. Keep going.
Shit,
Hands
don't
up,
shoot,
do
I'm
it
giving
now.
up.
We're gonna get you out of here.
She was right.
Leave the talk.
Talk to element.
Civilian good to go for
Copy
evac.
that. Put him on safe and let him hang. Great job.
Officer Peterson, please report to Captain Porter. Officer Peterson, report to Captain Porter.